In Graveyard Ghost Walk, Part 2, Nicola and Darcy continue their eerie promenade in Victoria's famous Ross Bay Cemetery. Darcy's psychic abilities always astound, so prepare to be astonished.
Do you think when someone's recently dead, they have a clue how to do this? How to come back, talk to you?
Yes and no. Some people, it takes them months to get the knack. It all depends on their energy.
Okay.
What kind of person they were in life.
All right.
I've had people who literally died that day and their family had an appointment so they didn't want to cancel, and they showed up. And I remember one lady in particular, stone cold serious face. I cried all the way through the reading because her daughter had died the day before. She didn't want to cancel. She hoped her daughter would show up, and her daughter did.
Wow.
Mom never cried. I did. I cried all the way for her.
Oh.
Be ready to be fascinated.
Would you then only do that when you know you're going to go buy something that is...
Buy something or deal with people who have negative energy, just so I don't absorb it.
And how quickly could you do that? If you were...
Right like that, blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
And lean in to be really intrigued.
Because she's able to expand. Her boundaries are not limited like ours are.
Okay, but she's popping in and out of these
Yeah,
doors
we
at
can change.
different ages.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing about I'm looking forward to spirit life. Because I can be any age I want to be.
Okay.
Any age. Now normally most spirits go across, and the average age is 27 to 33. But I have seen my dad as a child. I've seen my dad as 24, 25 when he was in the army. And I've seen my dad exactly the way he was when he died.
Wow. You've actually seen the apparition of him.
Yeah.
Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the slow burn storytelling podcast where our host, Nicola, challenges her psychic friend Darcy to communicate with the dead and unravel historical ghost stories, unsolved true crime mysteries, and all things paranormal. If you want to be spooked, amazed, and entertained, stick around for an astonishing, deep dive convo with the spirits on the other side. Radio Sydney presents Seeing Dead People, Episode 25, Graveyard Ghost Walk, Part 2.
Can't we do the nuns? There's a reason for it.
Sure, I've got actually something on the nuns, so let me find it. Let's walk towards the nuns.
And you'll understand once I tell the story.
Okay, great.
Freshly paved.
They do look freshly paved, don't they?
It's cemented.
So here we are over here for our gals.
We'll have to sort of zigzag in.
Yeah. Now I wanted to tell you that the fellow I know, who is the president of the Old Cemetery Society, and they handle the care of this place, he told me that, of course you were right, that the gal named Michelle wrote a book called Michelle Remembers.
Oh.
About her experiences as a 5-year-old in this satanic cult of her mother's, where they brought her and put her inside that mausoleum. And at the time, they had just taken down all the white crosses for the St. Anne nuns because they were being vandalized, and they've changed them into these flat plaques.
Yep.
And all the crosses were inside the mausoleum being stored. And the little gal said she was, I guess she was drugged or whatever, woke up and was surrounded by this spooky white specter of all these glowing looking white crosses. Can you imagine the trauma?
Yeah, I can.
So yeah, when you went to that doorway, you weren't too happy.
Nope.
We won't go there again.
I put a protective shell for them this time around.
What does that mean?
I just put a white light all around me so they can't get to me. I think we can...
Yeah, we can go through here, but I want to hear what do you mean by putting a white light around you?
Well, since I knew I was coming into the possibility of walking past this place again, since I really want to do the nuns, sorry everyone.
We're walking on graves and Darcy's apologizing to those below us.
Yeah, so I put a white light around myself. Think of an eggshell, and I put myself in the center of the eggshell so I'm protected. So nothing negative can come.
Oh, cool. Well, you didn't do that last time.
No, because I wasn't really thinking about walking past it. I totally forgot about it.
Would you then only do that when you know you're going to go buy something that is...
Buy something or deal with people who have negative energy, just so I don't absorb it.
And how quickly could you do that? If you were...
Right like that, blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye. So last time we were talking here, we went to that Helmken
And
to
right after
mausoleum.
we did,
And did you do that when we went to the door? Did you put
yes,
that eggshell
the
around
eggshell around myself and my daughter.
Oh, wow.
So-
I didn't know that. So you didn't tell me that. What about me?
Well, you guys are all included in our energy when you're with us.
Okay, cool.
To your left.
To my left.
I know this is...
Okay, so we are now at, I should say, welcome again to Ross Bay Cemetery, Darcy, for our listeners. We are now back for our second ghost walk in one of the nicest cemeteries Victoria has. Opened in 1872. It now has about 30,000, if you can call them residents, burial sites, graves of individuals. Beautiful. We can see the ocean, we can see mountains, and it's just a gorgeous night tonight in June, so we're lucky. We're now in the area that's called, well, it's a Catholic area of the cemetery, and this is the area where they've buried the Sisters of St. Anne nursing nuns.
Yeah.
Here we are, and you're saying somewhere to my left something's happening?
Well, yes, because we know that the crosses were taken down because of the vandalism.
Yes.
And they started putting in the granite headstones.
Yeah.
And so it's that little white cross we need to go to.
Okay, all right. So the sisters, the nursing sisters, they were pioneer teachers and nursing sisters as nuns in British Columbia and in Alaska, and they came all the way from Quebec in around 1858 as a start. They were originally buried at St. Anne's Academy, but when the academy closed and became, I think, a government organization, they were moved to Ross Bay. So we now are looking at a lovely small, very simple white cross, sacred to the memory of Reverend Brabant, an apostolic missionary, died in Victoria, age 67, in 1912. So why are we drawn to this cross, Darcy?
Okay, so originally we were supposed to come here a week ago, right?
Right, we were.
And I couldn't make it, so we rescheduled. But the night before we were supposed to come, and I could have told you this on the phone at the time, but I thought it was more appropriate to do it here. So my uncle came to me in a dream, and my uncle used to be a builder, okay? And there was this huge, like it went from that blue house probably to that house down there. It was huge. And he says, we're going to remodel it.
What was it?
It was like a house, a building. It was all connected.
Oh,
But it
okay. And
also went
you're
back.
identifying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses
Yeah.
size-wise on a
Size-wise.
street.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was broken up in places, and there were walks in the back. And so we went to do it, and my uncle said to me, he goes, there's something wrong with the roof line, so we're going to take the existing roof down. And I said, okay, I'm game for anything, Uncle Dave. You know I hate heights. So I go up with him, and we start to pull the roof down, and under it is this red roof that looks like a Spanish villa type. And there was what are they called? They're not cathedral, but it had that extra dome here and there, and with a cross on it. And I thought, that's weird. And then the next thing I know, he's yelling at me, come downstairs, come downstairs. And I go downstairs, and it's like I can just barely stand up. And so given I'm 5'10", I'm probably trying to crouch down to a 5-foot level. And he knows I hate crawl spaces. So why he would bring me down here, I don't know. So as I get to him, there are children's desks, like you would see the old wooden desks.
Yeah, right. Would you lift the lid and you peer inside and take an orange out or something?
And there were some toys and some books and 2 little kids, a boy and a girl. They probably were about, I'm really bad with age, so I'm going to say 3 to 5.
Okay.
And there was a nun.
Okay.
And I thought, well, this is interesting. But as I got closer, the kids, you could see through them. And I said, okay, so Uncle Dave, and keep in mind, my uncle's dad, I said, why'd you bring me down here? He says, listen. And they were praying, and the nun told them that only the good kids who prayed got to go to God's garden.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And this was punishment because they hadn't prayed or they hadn't done something properly. And then I went up to the little kids and I took them by the hand and I said, would you like to see something new? And they said, sure. And I took them out and I walked them up a hill, and there was this beautiful glowing light with it's an orphanage, okay? And I said, this is where you need to be, not down there. And then I turned around, they're gone. Okay.
This is a vivid dream.
And there's this huge garden. And inside this garden, I can see wedding photos being taken, baptismals, burials, and I'm thinking, okay, I know I'm not in God's garden. I know that because I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, and my uncle said, oh, it's okay, you can wake up now. And I woke up and I thought, what the? And okay, go back to sleep. You can't ruin your night. It's only 2 a.m. So it took a while. I went back to sleep. And I never Googled the idea that we're coming somewhere. Never. I want a fresh slate every time I come.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help myself. So I went and Googled St. Anne's.
Okay.
And there's the building with the red roof.
Absolutely. And the dome.
And the dome.
And the curved windows. It's beautiful.
And it says that it wasn't just like a church, it was a hospital, it was an orphanage and a school.
Yes.
And I had goosebumps everywhere, and I thought, oh my God, I wonder if we went to their garden and started looking with one of those things that pulse the earth, if we'd find some bodies.
Well, you know, I bet you we would, and we really should do a St. Anne's tour.
Yeah.
I had that on our plan. And you described St. Anne's to a T. It's a beautiful building.
It was.
And it's now still a beautiful building. It's now government offices. Yeah. And beautiful grounds, it's several acres, and it had a lot of burials, and there may well have been some that were missed. So who knows? There may be people still buried there. Many people have seen ghosts, and one of the graves we're going to visit today has a ghost, or has become a ghost, and shows up at that very academy.
Okay.
So that's fascinating that you would have that dream. So, but this little white cross.
The little white cross was on the hill when I took.
When you went to go to the orphanage.
Yes.
Oh, what do you know? And this is an apostolic missionary. So this fellow, Reverend Brabant, he would be spreading the word, hopefully helping people, maybe taking in children. I don't know. That's kind of what the missionaries would do.
Yeah.
So you're right on the money.
So,
oh, wow. That's amazing.
And the interesting part is because we know he didn't establish the church.
Correct.
But he had such a strong connection. That's why it's like they said, look for the little white cross. And I thought, what little white cross?
Wow. Who told you to wait for the little white cross?
My uncle. He said, look for the little white
cross. So
cross.
He knew you were going to come here?
Yeah.
This is during the dream he told you this?
Yep.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
And then when you talked about the white crosses, and then when I came, I actually didn't know there was a white cross.
You were looking around. I could see you were looking around trying to find them. And all the crosses, well, there are no crosses anymore for the St. Anne's gals, except for one little one that's not white. They're all flat plaques now. They've changed completely. Wow. Okay, well then here is the area itself where the St. Anne's nuns are. So let's have a look at them while we're wandering around here and see if you can get any sense of anyone here. We must be 50 or more plaques spread out nicely, and there's always 2 nuns per locale.
Yeah.
That seems to be, Siobhan and I checked this out before, my sister, and then there's a nice little column in the middle with a cross dedicated to the memory of the Sisters of St. Anne.
There should be one in here, St. Teresa.
Oh, imagine there'd be more than one Teresa.
Mary, in particular, they were in the dream.
Okay, so...
One was Hispanic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maria, maybe then? Mary, yeah. Okay.
And the other 2 were definitely Caucasian, but dark hair when they had it. And very devout.
Oh, yeah.
They believed in spare the rod.
Okay.
So.
Okay, well, it's a lovely evening to be looking at the number of plaques on the ground. All these, imagine coming from Quebec in 1858 or so, all the way across Canada. Good grief. It wasn't even a country then. And then coming to this place in British Columbia and setting up a school and helping people out. Jeez.
Well, what's interesting is that some of the people here are from Alaska by the feels of it.
Now, can you feel Alaska?
I see an iceberg over there.
They could be from Newfoundland.
No.
No? They don't have an accent, right?
No, they don't have that A.
Cool. So, anything else? Any other sense you get from this area?
I feel that they are at peace. but I also feel that they're still ministering the belief.
Oh, okay. Well, there's another individual, and I want to see if we can find her, called Nellie Cashman. She's supposed to be near their graves.
What's interesting is they've got a boundary. They can't go over this.
They've got a boundary, and
Look,
yes,
they've got a boundary. They can't go beyond this boundary.
well, this is probably what the land they have purchased for.
And this would be consecrated.
I would think so, and I don't know, if there are still an order of Sisters of St. Anne. Where they hang out, I don't know. I thought it was somewhere up island. And if someone passes away, do they get to be buried in one of these places? I don't know.
So,
but I'd like to find Nellie Cashman because she's got a relationship with the Sisters of St. Anne. But she's a little different, and I'm not quite sure where she's hanging out. I wish I could find her.
isn't it you something?
Ah, here she is. What do you know? I found her. Okay, Nellie Cashman. She was a very cool gal. She was, they call her the miner's angel. Okay, she was a nurse. She was a gold prospector, and she ministered to men in the mining and gold fields, helped them as a nurse. She came from Ireland to the U.S. She ran restaurants, boarding houses. She was always nursing people. She was right in the thick of it. She traveled to the Klondike to be in with the mining camps. She worked as a cook. She staked her own gold claims into her 80s. Can you imagine? Wow. Then finally she came to Victorian. She was cared for by the Sisters of St. Anne. And the Americans have featured her on a U.S. stamp. Oh. So I just wondered if you had any sense from her burial location here. She's got two very nice plaques with actually her photograph on one.
First and foremost, to her it was an honor to help.
Okay.
Okay, that's the biggest thing I feel is her heart swells with the idea that she could help people. And even in the end, I still feel she would have wanted to be helping people. She's remarkable, way beyond her time. I don't feel a marriage here, though.
No, I don't think she was ever married. You wouldn't be able to. She was running around helping people out, going to the Alaska and northern BC. I can't imagine she got married.
But I do feel she liked her freedom, but she wasn't afraid of expressing herself.
She must have been funky, I would imagine. She looks very... Can you get a shot of that, Siobhan, of her picture? She's a very determined-looking woman, would you not say?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely is right. She looks... We'll just clean you off there, Nellie. There you go. That's a nice shot. She is a very attractive woman. An interesting hair top, whatever it is. A little bit of a, comb. I don't know, comb. Spanish comb. Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
But it would also... Irish people used to wear the combs too, especially if they had long hair.
To keep their hair up. Yeah, right. And that was pretty common to have long hair in the old days for women, that's for sure. Okay, well then, are you game to then go to the grave, one of the two graves that we've picked out for you?
Sure.
Okay, and as we go along, just, tell us if you run across anybody. We'd be glad to know.
Actually, sure, anyone would be out tonight because it is a little warm, even for spirit.
You think spirit worries about weather?
Yes, they do.
Tell us about that.
Like, they don't like it being hot either. Like, it's okay to be mild. Like that last time we were here, it was nice and mild.
Yes, it was lovely.
It was lovely. And like this right now they can handle because it's cooled down. Again, sorry everyone. But they're no fan of heat either. Just reminds them of them where they could have been.
I was wondering that if they had a sort of sense that they could be in a hotter position.
Yes, and they all have a wicked sense of humor.
Okay.
And if they didn't, they know I fill it in for them.
You'd have it, exactly. Well, I'm going to show you a grave that Siobhan and I found earlier that will strike a note with you as we come through. So we're back to seeing Harry Helmken's huge mausoleum and our dear little chair.
Yes.
That was sweet little burial for that one little child. Okay, so we're going to cross. Ooh, you almost got taken out by a scooter.
Well, yes and no.
We're going to cross through.
Mr. Williams over there said, watch where you walk. I thought, huh?
Mr. Williams over there told you this?
Yes.
Oh, well, thanks, Mr. Williams.
And I went, okay, and then I turned around and there she was.
There she was. And there's our Pooly angel that we saw last time. Lovely angel. So we're going to cut right straight through here. Sorry about people. So there are actually identified plots here I hadn't noticed before that aren't used yet.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Oh, a little tiny squirrel going up there. We just saw 2 small fawns
Yeah.
just before you called.
Did you see the buck?
I saw something in the distance. There, the 2 little fawns over there.
The buck.
Oh, where's the
And
buck?
there's 3. If you go past the tree, there must be the doe.
Okay, because I think I saw either the buck or the doe. I didn't get close enough to get a sense of it.
Okay. Oh, someone like golf.
Someone likes golf, a few golf balls. This is a very damaged tomb.
Yeah, it's definitely going down.
The roots, I guess, from the tree have really damaged it. Careful where you walk here.
Oh,
That's, I guess, part of the problem with having trees nearby,
yeah.
is that their roots will go everywhere.
You see the size of those penguins?
Yes, I know. Aren't they massive? I don't know what tree they're from. I'd like to find it. They are humongous. So anybody striking you as we walk through this beautiful landscape of tombstones?
Well, there's 2. There's this one. Lunny?
Lunny, yeah, exactly.
So, but it's more in loving memory of Charlotte.
And what do you get from that?
I get a little sorrow. And was there a child? Does it say there's a child that died?
1907, 63 years, that's the
she's-
wife. Let's just see, it's hard to read. I don't see another notation.
Maybe it's just the feel of the child.
Somebody was 74. Yeah, okay, maybe that's right. That's a nice color, isn't it?
It's nice and
It's not like it's, I guess it's some kind of special stone, but it certainly doesn't look like granite.
yeah, makes me think she was a seer.
Oh, because of the big ball on top. Oh, you know, speaking of on tops, I learned a couple things. The urn is a symbol of eternal life,
Yeah.
and the downward dove is the Holy Spirit.
And the hands?
The hand,
The heart on the...
I don't know, that I didn't look up.
There?
Yeah,
Are there miners here?
I would imagine so, because we had nurse Nellie Cashman who was a miner.
Okay.
I would imagine there's all kinds of them. Why, do you feel something here?
Yeah, are there supposed to be crosses?
I think they were, and they were broken off. Yeah,
So is this the one connected to the nuns over here?
I don't know. We still have a little ways to go to find our tomb that we're looking for. So would you then say that, the whole horror idea that on dark and stormy nights we see spirits, and that in Hollywood, that wouldn't happen in real life?
Oh no, it would.
It would?
It does. On dark and stormy nights, you can see spirit. Hey, who's the guy with the big...
Cross?
No, over here. Did we see him already?
No, Charles Smith. Don't know who that is. Nice big cross.
Oh, no,
column.
we'll look at him after.
Okay. Well, we can look at him now, right here. Let's do it. We don't know.
You have to go all the way down to the tree. It's not the cross one.
Okay, well, we'll go down to the tree. Wherever you're being drawn, we'll follow.
I don't know if we've seen this already.
I don't think so. Here we have name Pemberton, famous name in British Columbia.
Yep.
Amor de Cosmos.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
Greek. Are we going to see a Johnston?
No.
J.
No, 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 no.
What's the J sound?
I don't know.
Either one of you know a Johnston?
No.
Johnny? Right here.
No.
This guy.
This is Robert Homefrey. That's the one that interests you? This is an interesting place under this amazing tree.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if he's a ghost.
Look, now, as you think, that's got to mean something more than, see, he's got a big, it's almost like a globe or the world here, right? That's a humongous granite circle. Wow. So you get a feeling from this guy?
Well, it's just a sense of total peace, contentment. Just wanted to be recognized.
Oh, wow. That's interesting that here we are, there's 150 graves within our eyesight, and this was the one that draws you here with just that, contentment.
Yep. Contentment, and I want to be recognized.
And I want to be recognized. Wow. Well, then we'll recognize you.
Otherwise, people don't come to see him.
Wow. So we have Robert Homefrey from Worcestershire, England. All right. Well, Robert, you are recognized.
Okay, so now where are we headed?
Okay, keep going on to our other grave that we're trying to find. Oh, sorry about that. Stepped on one. Oh, oh, there's our buck right there. He's in that little alleyway. Amazing.
That's okay. So the alleyway was important because if you look at his,
he's a 4-point buck. Isn't he lovely?
Yeah, he is. And there's another one over there that's even 5, I think.
Oh, okay. Siobhan and I were just saying, do you think they can actually stay in here safely, or do they move on and get into trouble?
These guys look like they're here all the time.
Yeah, but how do they know to stay here?
Well,
Yeah.
Spirit makes it enjoyable.
Keep
There's
them here.
grass.
Yep, it's safe. Why would you move on?
Yep.
Maybe they aren't curious the way we are. That would be good. So we're going to cut across here. And I think, where did we find our one, Siobhan? I was telling...
Oh, I found Robinson.
Robson. John Longworth. Well, Robson's famous. There's Robson Street in Vancouver.
Oh, okay. I found him.
Right, in his 90th year. There's quite a few Robsons, it looks like.
Wonder if there's a John here.
There's John Longworth Robson.
Oh, there we go.
Right there.
There he is.
Out of the darkness into the light.
Yeah. There he is.
He's buried in Stratford, Ontario. And he has a tomb here.
Yeah.
And he's speaking to you?
Yeah.
What's he saying?
It was, again, I haven't been seen for such a long time.
Well, hey, John Longworth
God.
Robson. We're saying hello.
And I'm not a whiskey girl, but boy, could he go for a whiskey.
You know, we should come sometime and offer toasts.
Yeah.
That would be nice. You know who would anoint the toast. Like that woman Campbell who you saw in the sky having a little nip of tea and whiskey.
Oh, well, you're right next door to Dunsmere.
Yeah, we are right next door to Dunsmere. But I want to find... Siobhan and I just walked right on it with... Are we going to be able to find that again? Well, I don't want to say anything because I want you to see it. Right at the front, right? Ah, here it is, Darcy. I'm just cleaning the placard off so Darcy can see it.
I'm going to say they're a little reluctant to be acknowledged.
Okay, well, you've been introduced to this gal before.
Oh.
Agnes Bings.
Isn't she the lady with the stomach?
Exactly. She was eviscerated. Remember
Thank
we talked
you.
about her?
No wonder.
Yes. And she owned the bakery
Yeah.
on Johnson Street.
She really doesn't want to be.
Seen, acknowledged,
I think
looked
it's
at.
more that when we talked, like we talked about her, and I said, wasn't she the?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't want to show you. She didn't want to show you, right? And someone else wanted to show you. Remember?
Yeah.
And you said the name, and I said, "Who's that?"
Mary.
And it was Mary, her mom.
Yeah. And there's John again, so we got another John.
Yeah, you had said you thought it was Agnes's brother
Yeah.
that had done her in, sadly.
Still do.
Yeah, we still do. Okay, well, there's Agnes. Isn't that neat that we were just talking about her a couple of shows ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gal and Mrs. Bings and the Madman.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly. Okay, we're trooping along here. Looks like they've just mowed the lawns lately.
Okay, who's the farmer?
A farmer?
I just heard you said mow the lawn, and I heard someone say, and forget to sweep the floor.
And you would call that person a farmer or a
Yes.
farmer's wife?
Farmer because it's outside in the barn. So the farmer would be in the barn. So the hay falls, you got to keep the floor.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know who's the farmer. We just have names, unfortunately.
We can do Andrew.
It could be anybody. James G. Kirk, not James T. Kirk. Not quite Star Trek.
No, it's not.
So it's like Spirit is listening.
Yeah.
Because we're having conversations and then you'll say, well, they've said something and they're bouncing it off something I've said or you've said.
Yep.
Wow.
Always listens.
So are you ever alone?
Never. That's why I don't need people.
Yeah, I guess you're used to that. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you that you aren't alone? Or can you be alone?
I can shut it off.
Okay.
But what's really interesting, there's a rabbit around here. What's really interesting is, like, I was at my friend's over the weekend, the one who died, and there they
Yes.
are, her and her husband in the living room in the box in front of the TV again. And you'd think with her being there, I'd feel her.
You'd think, of
I
all
had a
people.
dream about her. That's it, because
That's it.
Saturday was the 3rd month of her passing. That's all.
So yeah, when you had said when she passed away, you hadn't really felt a connection.
Yeah. But I mean, she did make herself known Saturday, but not at her place. I was with friends and she
How
popped
odd.
into the conversation. And it was like, wow.
That's odd.
Yeah, it is really odd sometimes the way they do it.
Do you think when someone's recently dead, they have a clue how to do this? How to come back, talk
Yes,
to you?
Yes and no. Some people, it takes them months to get the knack. It all depends on their energy,
Okay.
what kind of person they were in life.
All right.
I've had people who literally died that day and their family had an appointment so they didn't want to cancel, and they showed up. And I remember one lady in particular, stone cold serious face. I cried all the way through the reading because her daughter had died the day before. She didn't want to cancel. She hoped her daughter would show up, and her daughter did.
Wow.
And her daughter was only like 30 maybe.
Oh.
She died of ovarian cancer.
Oh.
Mom never cried, I did. I cried all the way for her.
Oh.
And the one thing the girl was most grateful for, and I can't even remember her name,
Uh-huh.
was that she got to invite everyone to the hospital room, her bedroom where she finally died,
Oh, really?
and to say goodbye.
Yes, that would be something I would imagine would be very important for someone.
Well, and I think what really upset her the most is at the last minute she realized that she wasn't ever going to see her mom again in life, and so she got scared.
Oh.
And then she had to let go of the fear. But for her to show up literally not even 12 hours after she died.
Wow. So something about her energy.
She was into meditation, yoga, spiritual belief. It all helped her.
Neat. Okay, we're now approaching the grave we want to talk about. So you can think about, are you getting any ideas,
if
any
it's a
feelings
man?
from somebody?
Can I ask if it's a man?
You can, and it isn't.
Okay. But would she be in a position of a male? Like strong, dynamic?
Absolument.
Not?
Yes, no, yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
And would it be, again, connected to a street, a town, a city, her name? Or something
As in-
important?
Like she's famous, not famous?
Not she's famous, maybe her name is.
Well, she's famous, and
She-
thus her name is famous.
And is she an artist?
She's... Siobhan's laughing behind us. She's absolutely an artist.
Like, not what's her name from Vancouver. Actually, was
Would you like to see the grave?
let me
And
think.
can you come
I
up
can
with the name?
see it.
Of absolutely famous Canadian
I know.
female artist.
Ashley had an invite to her university. Oh, I can't think of it. It's on downtown.
Yeah, School of Art. So-and-so School of Art.
I can't, for the life of me, can't think of it.
That's okay. Have a look. And welcome to
Emily Hart.
Emily Carr.
Art.
Yes.
Art. Emily Art. That's how I
Emily Art. Come on, Emily Art.
Wow.
This is the grave of Emily Carr, one of
Her
our
whole
most
family?
famous. This is her family. This is actually her area here. She was born in 1871, died in 45. She was obviously an artist, nature lover hugely, and an author. The interesting thing I find about the grave is it's pretty plain, frankly, for someone who's as famous as Emily Carr.
Yeah.
This actual little tombstone with a saying I'm going to get you to read in a minute was put on by others on her behalf. She didn't really want anything, and you can see there's lots and lots of pine cones scattered about. And I wondered what the heck was with the pine cones. Now there's a tree above us that spits off pine cones. That's one possibility. But I've discovered that pine cones mean the eternal life.
I was going to say, isn't it life because of the spiral?
Yes, it is, and it's used in ancient Egypt time. They have pine cones on columns and stuff.
Okay.
So I wonder who put down the first pine cone. Probably the tree put down the first pine cone here. She was a late bloomer. I didn't really know this. She was an artist all her life, but she wasn't well known until in her 50s she decided, or she chose to start painting the West Coast, the BC landscape, the Indigenous landscape, and that's where she began to get her fame, which is really cool. Unfortunately, she had a heart attack when she was 74. She had 4 heart attacks in 7 years, and we had to go and live with her sister when in her 70s, and began to write about nature. And then unfortunately had her final heart attack and died, and she was staying at the James Bay Inn in Victoria. So I would like to, if you could read this, it's a lovely statement here. And I wonder if you can read that. If you can't, I have it written here.
It says, "Dear Mother Earth, I think I have always specially belonged to you. I have loved from babyhood to roll upon you, to lie with my face pressed right down onto you in my sorrows. I love the look of you and the smell of you and the feel of you. When I die, I should like to be in your uncoffin, unshrouded, the petals of flowers against my flesh, and you covering me up." Emily Carr.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice.
question. Was she buried, uncoffined and unshrouded? Do you know that?
No. Unfortunately not.
So she was buried
But she might have been buried, like the
just
green,
in a wrap?
yeah, like the green earth that
Right,
they're doing now.
okay.
She may have been buried that way.
And now Emily herself is quite the ghost.
I can see why.
Okay, talk to me about her, because she has
What I feel
interesting things
is
about her.
very much like the flowing kind of clothes.
Yes.
Okay, like the pantaloons
Yeah.
where they flow, beads around her neck, her hair swept up with a scarf around it, and laughter. There should be laughter attached to her.
Oh, yeah.
And I can hear a faint music, like almost Mozart, and the Blue Danube.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear that too.
All right.
But is she in James Bay, the hotel, still?
Well, this is the thing about Emily Carr. She's haunting several locations in Victoria. The James Bay Inn is her last resting place where she died.
And the church?
She haunts that. She's haunting St. Anne's Academy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand why, because I can't find any real role with St. Anne's Academy to Emily Carr, but
She painted?
she painted, but that doesn't necessarily
Did she
mean...
paint it?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I don't know why she haunts St. Anne's Academy. And she also haunts her home, her actual home, which is on Humboldt Street. You've probably seen it. It's a beautiful Victorian home. So what I think is cool about her is that, and this is why I wanted to ask you, I've never thought of this before in my life. People who see her at the James Bay Inn see Emily Carr as the older Emily when she was the famous artist. And she would always have a very unusual companion on her shoulder. Can you think of what that was?
Are we talking a rat or the parrot?
A monkey.
A monkey?
Yeah, she always had a monkey. Isn't that weird? But she's there in her 70s at the James Bay Inn, which makes sense to me. She died there in her 70s. However,
She never had a monkey.
well, she had a monkey all the time.
Really?
She had photographs. She's famously photographed with this monkey on her shoulder. Yeah, I don't
Was
know.
he with her? And do you know if he was there when she died?
That I don't know. I have to tell you. I don't know if what time of her life. In her later life is all I can say from the pictures I know of her.
Is she originally from BC?
I believe so, yes.
So from Victoria?
I believe so.
I have a feeling she might have attended the church or the school.
St. Anne's itself?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could well be.
But I did hear her when you said you don't understand why she haunts it. She said, because I can.
Okay, but then she haunts St. Anne's. The people who have seen her haunting St. Anne's say it's Emily of a younger age.
Yes.
Okay. And then even better, the Humboldt Street home where she was brought up and is now an Emily Carr Museum, she haunts that as a very young woman.
Yeah.
So since when are spirits able to haunt in different times of their lives? I never knew that.
Think of it like this. Let's pretend door, 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 door.
You're pointing
Okay.
at, deliberately pointing at tombstone areas?
Yes,
Okay.
because we're going to
Burial
pretend,
sites?
We're going to pretend they're doors.
Okay, I got that. I can do that.
Okay, that door opened, I can hop in there. That one opened, I can hop in there. Hop, hop, hop.
Okay.
So I can be in a lot of places in any given time as a spirit. I'm not stationary like you and I are.
Okay.
You know, that idea of beam me up, Scotty? Well, that happens with spirit. And a piece of a spirit will go through one door, another piece, another. The piece of spirit that wants to come back and walk this earth as a person, the one that feels like it hasn't finished something. Okay, I'll use my dad. He's back on this earth because he needed to learn compassion. So he's back here.
Okay.
But the rest of him's on the other side because I can see him. So just like that, spirit is electricity. Okay? And like any electricity, you can have one light on in a room and this one off and that light on, and they're all connected. So
Okay.
Spirit. So Emily can be, and it's funny because all the way home yesterday, I kept going, what's that name? What's that name? I was trying to remember the name of one of my old bosses. Her name was Emily.
Emily.
And for the life of me, I didn't know why I was trying to figure out her name. I remembered everyone else but her. But Emily can be, and she haunts here too, but she is more fun. She can be here, she can be in James Bay, she can be in Vancouver at her university because she really does like it.
Does she? Well, good for her.
Okay. And she can be at Humboldt Street, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and at St. Anne's because she's able to expand. Her boundaries are not limited like ours are.
Okay, but she's popping in and out of these
But yeah,
doors
we
at
can
different
change-
ages.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing about I'm looking forward to spirit life because I can be any age I want to be.
Okay.
Any age. Now, normally most spirits go across, and the average age is 27 to 33. But I have seen my dad as a child. I've seen my dad as 24, 25 when he was in the army. And I've seen my dad exactly the way he was when he died.
Wow. You've actually, like, seen the apparition of him.
Yep.
I never knew. Did you, Siobhan, ever know or imagine that spirits could be different? No, my sister Siobhan is a lot more spiritual than I am and a lot more gifted. So you thought they could be at different ages already. Oh, see, I this is just blowing, for me, blowing my mind. I thought people were, whatever they chose or what given to them or something, that was it.
Died at? No.
Yeah, not necessarily what they died at, but maybe their best part of their life. They could choose that and say, I want to be that, and I was 29 and a half. That's when you were a spirit, but
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know you could be
go over there and do that, but then when they go to a place that has fond memories, or when we die, we normally go to the same place looking like we did when we died.
Okay.
Okay, because that's a memory no matter what, we can't alter that one.
Right, okay.
Okay, so a couple of my clients whose family members died sitting on the toilet, I'm guessing they're never going back to John to have a look.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate that would happen to somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
It
unfortunate.
happens more than you realize.
Okay, then, you know the old adage, if a tree falls in the forest, does anyone hear the sound?
Well,
Okay?
they heard the pine cone.
Okay, but
so-
if a spirit pops through a door and no one sees them, are they there?
Yes,
Okay. They don't have to be seen to be
No.
in existence.
they don't have to be
So
seen.
there's all kinds of these spirit bits running around the universe or the world.
No, they're selective. Some people choose to stay stationary, like Ruth, and probably why I can't fill her.
This is your friend.
She said when she died, she's never coming back.
Oh, she had told you that.
She
so
told me, I am never coming back to this earth. It was cruel to me.
Oh, okay.
And I went, well then, okay. And then one day she said to me, do I get to talk to you from the other side? I went, well, you already stated your
you're not going to come back.
perimeter. And so that's why I don't feel her. But the good part is I have psychic friends. They could feel her for me.
Okay, so why can they feel her if she doesn't want to be coming back?
She didn't want to come back. She just wanted to give a message.
And why couldn't she give you a message?
Because she's too close to the situation and she knows I'm going to cry.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
And I think that's very thoughtful. Yeah,
So.
and that doesn't surprise me, actually. Wow.
And that's why a lot of people will say after a loved one passed, they go, how come I can't see them? And I said, because you're too close.
Yeah. It'll break your heart
Yeah.
to see them. Yeah.
I said, give them some space, give them some time. They will eventually show up in a dream, and they do. They tell me
Wow.
a year or so later they've had their visitation, and that's all they wanted.
Just the one time.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, that was interesting. Well, Emily, thank you. Well done. I wish you had been uncoffined and unshrouded because that's what she wanted.
Uncle knew her.
Get out of here.
Yep.
Not your uncle that we were just talking about?
My uncle, we were just talking about.
He knew Emily Carr.
Yeah.
How did he know Emily Carr?
He's a famous potter from Nanaimo. You know the Japanese killings that came into Nanaimo?
I've heard tell of them. I'm not
Okay.
too knowledgeable.
My uncle's the one who brought them in.
What's your uncle's, if you don't mind telling us?
Leslie
What's his name?
Beardsley.
Sorry?
Leslie Beardsley.
Leslie Beardsley knew Emily Carr, and he himself is a well-known potter.
Yes, he is.
Far out. I'll have to look Leslie Beardsley up. Thank you. Okay, so we're moving on to our second grave that I targeted for us tonight.
Okay.
Okay, we are heading towards the Bossies. Remember the cameo sculptures?
Yeah.
Now Siobhan, you got to get a photograph of this buck. Wait, you come around this corner, Darcy. This incredible image of a buck deer lying in front of this tombstone. It's in the sunlight. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
There-
Siobhan, you've got to get a shot of that. Oh my goodness, he's gorgeous. He's just enjoying the sun and maybe company.
Okay, I'm going to be really blind, but where is he? Oh, there he
There,
is.
right there. Isn't he lovely? Oh, you got to take a shot.
See, and every time I come in here, my phone was fully charged.
And it's dead.
It's almost dead.
Ah, it's the energy drawing from
Yes.
you. There's a doe. There's two babies. This is an amazing place, really. It'd be nice to live around here.
Yes, it would.
Nice to think they are so relaxed. Okay, we're heading towards the Bossies and towards our next discussion. Unless you can find someone else who pops up and says hello to you. So are you, not, if this is too personal, you can tell me to stuff it,
Yeah.
but are you planning on being buried, cremated, tossed to the winds?
I am going to be cremated, and the instructions is take me to Scotland and spread me in the North
right,
Sea.
exactly. I think you mentioned that, right. I agree with the cremation. I just don't quite sure where to spread me.
Well, my daughter originally was going to be cremated, and we were going to make a diamond and send her into space.
People do that, don't they?
Yep. But since then, she's read up on green burial,
Yes.
and she likes that idea. And I said, but I'm not coming to see you.
You mean on the other side?
No, not coming to see a grave.
Oh, I see. You don't want her to have a grave?
Yeah, because it makes it easier. I'm not obligated. My parents don't have graves. Why should she?
I get you. Okay, so we're now approaching the Bossies
Yeah.
with their lovely cameo tombstone, and near here is another large column,
This one?
this red granite column with the name, yes, Fee, very Irish. So I'm really curious as to whether anything jumps out at you at the Fee column.
Here we go with the John again.
Yes, well, everybody's
So,
called John, aren't
I know,
they?
but that was the name prominent in my head tonight. Here's Mary Elizabeth.
Mary.
This is the person, right?
No,
No.
it's
But
not.
she
Well,
is
you might be.
important.
You might be for the person, but this is the person I'm talking about.
Our beloved son, David. Oh,
Right.
yeah, no wonder we're talking about that.
So, what do you have? You any idea what is about David Fee? It's a little hard to read, I know. Died in 1890, Christmas Eve. So very young, 21 years old.
Is there... Okay, they do have San Francisco, so is he died in San Francisco?
No, he came from San Francisco. Died in Victoria, but died here in Victoria. Yeah, the family came here. Well-known family. Can you get anything from David? You may not. That's perfectly possible.
I'm not actually picking anything up, but can I ask, there's no fire involved in any of these people, right?
Well, I only know about David. I
Okay,
can't
so
tell
no
you.
fire
No
with him.
fire involved with David.
So no war, no, he would have been too young to be in the war. Or would he?
1990, he would not be in any war.
Okay, the only thing I'm picking up is a train. It's like the sound of a train around him.
Don't know. That doesn't match. So, David Fee, this is why I was curious to find out with what you would pick up. He was very popular. He was athletic. He was coming out from St. Andrew's Cathedral on the eve of Christmas, 1890, and he was shot dead. Assassinated.
War. Guns.
Right, war, but it wasn't a war per se. He was shot dead because he was, they had a mistaken identity. They thought he was part of a revolt. The Fenians, they were an Irish group trying to overthrow the British government, as they are always trying to do in Ireland, during the 19th and 20th century, and later they became the IRA. And the Fenians shot him. A Fenian gunman shot him. They had the wrong man. And his funeral, he was a very well-loved young man, and his funeral was one of the biggest ever in Victoria.
Wow.
To that time. So I just wondered if there was any sense of, if someone was so taken down so unfairly, so quickly, so young, whether you'd have any sense of him here. But
he's
no.
Gone.
So he's gone, yeah. That's quite a long time ago.
Is Mary by any chance?
I know nothing about Mary. Sorry. I mean, you may know something about Mary, but I know nothing about her. She died, it said 1906. Rest in peace.
Would she be the mother?
It doesn't even say when she was born. May her soul rest in peace. So I don't know. It would be a total guess if it were her. She's from Ireland as well, so possibly was his mother. I don't know. Okay, well, David's obviously content.
He's good.
He's not coming and talking to you.
Nope.
Okay.
But Mary did.
But Mary did. What did Mary tell you?
I heard the soul was so loved in peace.
Oh.
So I'm thinking her, if that's her son or brother or...
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. 1906, yeah, he died in 1890, so that could well have been his mom.
Or his
sister. I don't know if he had a sister, yeah.
But she wouldn't have been very old.
No.
D.A.V.
That must be the father, born in 1827, died in 1900.
Then it's probably the mom.
Yeah. Okay, well, Darcy, we've done pretty well tonight.
Yes.
We've met a few people I hadn't anticipated. Talked about our favorite artist, Emily.
Yes.
And your uncle, and the fact that you had a dream about St. Anne's Academy and about the Sisters of St. Anne and the little kids and the orphanage as we come to this cemetery, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it was amazing, the dream. And
yeah.
That's why I thought I could send you the message, and I thought, no, I want to hold on to it because...
We go this way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they really wanted me to be there when I told you.
Oh, neat.
So
somebody in the spirit world told your uncle about them, so that he could contact you, so that you could talk to us.
Yep. And
wow.
I find lately that more and more...
Oh, look at the raven sitting on the tombstone. I mean, talk about Poe. It's just sitting there with the raven nevermore. It's a gorgeous shot.
Yeah, and I'm finding more and more when I do readings that if there's something significant for that person the night before, I'll see it so that I have it with me when I'm doing reading.
Would you get that kind of insight from a person you don't anticipate seeing? Let's say someone shows up today and says, I want you to do a reading, and for some reason you allow them to have a reading, and you've had something given to you the day before and you didn't know they were going to come?
Yep, that can happen. And the thing is that the only way they're going to get the reading that day is if there's a message for them ahead of time.
Oh, so then you can say, okay, I will squeeze you into my schedule because I've had an intuition about you. And oh, that's cool.
Most of the time, though, it's months in advance.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're incredibly busy, which is good.
Yeah.
In demand. So we go this way?
Yeah. And I'd like to be busier. Yeah. I'm in the parking lot. We lost your sister.
She'll come along. She's all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
And a great evening of another ghost walk in Ross Bay Cemetery. If you're curious about our earlier visit to Ross Bay, when Darcy spied a Victorian gal named Campbell sipping tea and whiskey before we discovered the Campbell family tombstones, you may listen immediately via our website at radiosydney.ca. Just look for episode 24, Graveyard Ghost Walk, Ross Bay. You may also wish to dive into episode 23, Mrs. Bings Meets a Madman, to learn more about the tragic Jack the Ripper-like death of Agnes Bings. Oh, and by the way, Emily Carr's family home is on Government Street, not Humboldt, as I thought. Mea culpa.
Thank you for listening to Seeing Dead People, where goosebumps are guaranteed. We would love to hear from you with questions for Darcy about her psychic process or suggestions for other mystifying situations you would like us to investigate. Please shoot us an email to info@radiosydney.ca with Seeing Dead People in the subject line. New episodes air on our website, radiosydney.ca, on the first Saturday of every month. Episodes repeat Saturday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., both Pacific time. All episodes are available as downloadable podcasts at our website or on our YouTube channel, Nicola Furlong Mysteries. I'm Dorian Mortis, weirdly keen on seeing dead people. This has been a presentation of Radio Sydney.